in the Sholosh Shavuos, right? Heilige Koshner Tamagid says in Agudah Yisrael that the Membeis Masos that we have in the beginning of Masei is connected the Chof Aleph Yoim of Yimei Bein HaMetzorim, that is the 21, Yoim V'Layla is 42. So Memela, this is the Masei B'nai Yisrael, this is the Yimei Bein HaMetzorim. And he writes that in these weeks also Dafen Zayin B'Simcha, Masei B'nai Yisrael, right? Even I'm durchgemacht, everybody has their Masos that they have to machaduch in this world, and that's what our avodah is in this world. It's machaduch Masos. You know, avada. It's a time when we have to be dovuk in chibas Eretz Yisrael. Obviously, right? Chibas Eretz Yisrael comes very, very stark at the end of Parshas Masei, which is when we go ahead and we finishing up Sefer Bamidbar. Punk, the Torah goes ahead and gives the last shtickle in Sefer Bamidbar is about Cain Benois Slavchad Doivrois, right? Well, Sisov Nachla, the whole story over here of Benois Slavchad, that they were Shtetach, that they came from Yosef and they were Mechavev Eretz Yisrael, and because they were Mechavev Eretz Yisrael, they were Zoicha that a whole parsha should be given through them. And you know, if you look at the Teferes Shloim at the end of Masei, right? He talks over there. He says, I'm going to read his lashon over here. Hinei miram al mailas kedushas Eretz Yisrael v'Yushalayim. Ki hinei tzorich kol ish l'shtoikik b'chol levavoi al Eretz Yisrael kedushaso k'masha kosav shalu shloim Yushalayim tziyoin doirish ein lo mechlal deboy drisha. The inyan atshuka he me'eles ba'atzma ala geula asida b'meira b'yameinu. The tshuka, the drisha, that is what that's the tachlis b'fnei atzmai. That's what we need for the gula asida. B'hainu kishiyosem ha'odam ali b'divrei hakosav shelo yisisov nachlo mimata lamata ki pida ha'torah shelo yisisov nachlo mimata lamata acher afal pike shekulam. I'm sorry. Shiftei kol kulam kedoshim u'ma chilek yesh bein zeh lezeh afal pikein ikpida ha'torah zeh mikol shekei bizman hazeh asher ba'avoino yiseinu harabim kol eretz hakdoshi tachas yadish yishma'elim v'hinei bol goyim b'nachlosecha timu es heichal kodshecha samu es Yushalayim le'iyah mikol shekei tzorich likroya levav ish litzoik al zeh el HaKadosh Baruch Hu la'oyer rachmim al ha'oretz val kibbutz goliyis l'toicha b'simcha b'meheira. Zok v'hinei is oretz hazeh shel tshukas ha'oretz k'shetiyah be'emes me'oimek ha'leiv sheyida be'emes b'nafshe al kvoid eretz ha'kdosha hinei b'zeh ma'oyer l'mal l'harachmim v'arotzim al ha'gula b'meheira. K'mash kosav shalu shloim Yushalayim al yidei kein yishloyu oyavecha. Bekitzer, what is he saying over here? He's saying we see at the end of the parsha how that this is how Bamidbar ends with azolcha psukim that b'noi slavchad they would leisisoi the doiris you're not allowed to go ahead and the nachla should only be in that shevet gufa. If the Rebbe Shalom doesn't want it to be. Why? Because each shevet has its derech avodah. It wants it to stay in the shevet. It's avada. The pshat is the tshuka. Avada. The Rebbe Shalom doesn't want Eretz Yisrael to be biyad tmei and biyad yishmaelim, and that are swallowing up Eretz Yisrael and being metam Eretz Yisrael. So avada. The Rebbe Shalom wants Eretz Yisrael to be in the hands of Klal Yisrael. That's what he wants. And when we're ma'ir that rotzen of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yidei our tzukah, we're mechaven to the Rebbeinu Shalom's Ratzon, so then that's what's Ma'or the Rachmim on Churban Yushalayim. So I'm reading part of it, but Ayin Sham, Soif Masei, Divrei HaMaskil, came Mata B'nei Yosef Doivrim, Doivros, V'loi Sisoiv Nachla Mimata El Mato. So that's the Hisoirus on Avos Eretz Yisrael. And another Hisoirus we have over here from the Haftorah, that I was, I mean, it's a simple aura, but Rav Shimshon Pincus is the Gevarin, the Bailam and Ahinti Gedor of being Ma'or the Olam in simple Hargoshes that that he found always to show the beauty of Klal Yisrael in the Haftorah that we read over here. So the Chamodik Azach was going on in the Haftorah. The Haftorah's Yirmiyah Novi is right in the Haftorah Parshas Matos, right? So Yirmiyah Novi comes along in the Erste Perek, and he chastises Klal Yisrael, and he says, he says, "Vayomer Hashem Elai mitzofen tiposeach haro al kol yoshvei oretz." And he says over here, "V'di posik tazayim v'dibarti mishpoti oisom al kol ro'osom asher azavuni v'yikatru lelihim acherim v'yishtachvu l'mayis yadeim." He's saying this is bitter and finster. They left me. They deemed avodah zarah v'yikatru lelihim acherim v'yishtachvu l'mayis yadeim. V'shtei weiter. A few psukim later. Vayidvar Hashem Elai lemor haloich v'karosa b'ozni Yishalayim lemor Ko yomar Hashem zocharti loch chesed nurayich avas kululoisayich lechtech achrei b'midbar be'eretz lo zerua. At the same time that the Rebbeinu Shalom says to Klal Yisrael, v'dibarti mishpati oisom al kol ra'osom asher azavuni I didn't forget that you're my kala, Abbas Kuloisayach, when you were my kala. When we were in Har Sinai, the Chesed Nurayach, Lechtech Achre B'midva B'eretz Lo Zerua, and Nishnor Dem, Kodesh Yisrael Hashem, we are Kodesh to the Rabbeinu Shalom, Reishis to us, just like Truma is the Reishis, we are the Reishis. That's how great we are. So how do you understand, right? The Navi is telling us within a couple of psukim over here, he's juxtaposing over here that beside Echad, right? We deserve to be Chas v'Shalom, we deserve to be who knows where, because we switched our allegiances and we switched our loyalties and we deemed avodah zarah ve'ishtachvu l'mayis yadeim, and immediately after that, Zokter, you know what? This is my kala. I'll never forget the chesed. I'll never forget the lechtech achrei b'midbar, the kodesh Yisrael Hashem reishis tvuasa. Weist ois that the history of Klal Yisrael is such that as deep as we've sunk and as far as we've gone apart from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and normally in a relationship, right, when there's such a divide, chas v'sholom, when there's such a rip in the relationship, so of course it's just, I mean, you want to make a yesh me'ayin, something to bring it back, maybe, but certainly whatever was there before is gone, right? And what do we see over here? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu is punishing us in Golus, when we are sent away, we are megurish me'artzoi, right? At the same time, simultaneously, the Rabbeinu Shalom is saying to us, I never forgot the fact that the Ava that you displayed to me when you were my Kala. I'm never gonna have to switch you for anybody else. Kodesh Yisrael Hashem Reishis Tvuasa. So this is really the this is really the dichotomy, the paradox of Klal Yisrael with the Rabbeinu Shalom, right? Mitzad Echad, Chalila, the 3 weeks is about Gerushin, it's about Inui, it's about Tsar, it's about, all the suffering through all the different Goliaths that we have to endure, and the Richuk that we have to endure from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But at the same time, simultaneously, in the Richuk, we feel that kiruv of Zacharti Lo Chesed Nurayach, Kodesh Yisrael Hashem Reishis Tvuasa. And the Rabbi Shalom never forgets us. The Rabbi Shalom always holds us so dear to him. So he never threw us out the way a husband throws out his Begarish's wife. He never threw us out, and he never severed the relationship. He keeps keeping us at a distance. But the distance is just a mirage until we chapsatzu and we realize how close he is to us the whole time. It's like he covered over our face. Yodeinu tu yaleim aleinu. The Gemara in Chagiga says, and the Marsha says, it's like when somebody covers over a face, so it seems like it's dark. The person's not around, but really the person's right there. He's hiding behind that hand that's covering over the face. So that's the kiruv and the richuk that we feel together, and that's the ava for Eretz Yisrael and for Yerushalayim that we have to feel. We have to feel these days in the 3 weeks. Okay, that's b'Torah Hagdama, Rabbi Isai. But just a little
Rabbi,
bit.
can I just ask a question? I this pining for during the midbar. Is the Rebbeinu Shalom have stars in his eyes? The Yidden didn't behave so well in the midbar. What do you mean, Lech Techachrei Beretz Lo Yizuru? He schlepped us out, and he loved us. We didn't return the love that much, did we?
So what you're asking is a question that needs to be asked on the whole Sefer Bamidbar, right? When one looks at the Ramban, the way he writes in Akdama Bamidbar, he doesn't mention a word about all the chatoim that happened in the Midbar. Right, and if we would want to categorize Sefer Bamidbar, so we would say basically starting from Baloischa on, starting from the Sholosh Aveiros over there, the Yisu Me'ar Hashem, the Misoinim, and Kivris HaTaiva, and then came the Maisa with Miriam, and then came the Maisa with the Meraglim, and after the Meraglim we have Korach, and after Korach we have the Mei Meriva, and after the Mei Meriva we have B'nai Smoyev and Baal Pa'or. It's like one long string of Aveiros, one after the other. But Rashi explains to us in Baloischa. Rashi says in Parshas Baloischa when the Rabbeinu Shalom says that they keep on asking Hayesh Hashem B'kirbechem im oyin, and Rashi says in Baloischa, Im loy shanatati shchina beineim loy hayisem, you wouldn't have had the audacity to ask where I am. So basically, what's happened in the midbar is like this. We became like the quintessential spoiled child that the melech takes and it puts in his lap, gives the child everything that the child needs, makes the child feel royal and special like nobody else in the world, right? Nisim, Mon, Anani Akovid, Kriyas Yamsuf, Matan Torah, right? So all of a sudden the child starts to feel invincible, infallible. He starts to feel that what he can do no wrong. So therefore, he starts out by testing that relationship and saying, you really love us so much, so let's send Meraglim and let's see what happens when we send Meraglim. And Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you want to send Meraglim? Go send Meraglim. And so on and so on. We can't go through each chet over here, but the chatoim in the midbar came from the fact that we felt so privileged and so close, we felt invincible and infallible. So it came from a point of gavus, of haughtiness, and not from a point of like who is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we don't want to listen to him anyway. Fakir, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so great and he loves us so much. Let's see what else we can do. We can get out of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we didn't behave, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us to task for not behaving. But our lack of behavior was not for a lack of recognition of what we got from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Fakir, it was a feeling of him being invincible because of what he got from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We got from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, listen, I know where it was coming from. It was coming from that tremendous love, that ava of kuloi sayach that we had with each other. And that love manifested itself in this, that you started to test me, and you started to feel invincible. And because of that, I had to send you away until you realize what it means to have a kesher with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it's there the whole time. It just needs a correction. That's the sort of these chatoim in the midbar, right? You think about it. Right, it's the only real way of understanding what went on over here, right? Footnote used to say, as a yid tut aveiros, sedav Yiddishe Aveiros and sedav Goyish Aveiros. Yiddishe Aveiros nemsach mitzad gavus, the fact that we feel like we're such a special nation and we're so special, so it leads us to believe in ourselves a little bit too much. And sometimes we're missing that hachna and that shiftless that we need. So it's an aveira, but it's coming from a point of mamleches kohanim v'goy kodesh. A goyish aveira nemtzach mitzad nidrikai, mitzad shiftless, mitzad not being machshav themselves. Nemtzach, because they look at their chelik habahami, and that's what's important to them. What's important to them is the lower part of a person. So a yid, Rabbi used to say, a yid tarnish ton aveiros via goy tut aveiros. A yid tut aveiros davachot ton aveiros via yid tut aveiros. So I'm the sort aveira. So a Yiddishe Aveiros, this can goyish aveira. All the chatoim in the midbar were Yiddishe Aveiros. They weren't Goyish Aveiros, right? That's the yisod over here, right? So, it's a new look. Like, when a person, we all do Aveiros and we're all nichshol, right? You have to evaluate it. It does give an a Yiddishe Aveiros, it doesn't give an a Goyish Aveiros. But where was the Aveira coming from? Was it coming from a low point, from a point of not believing in myself, a point of giving up, from a point of atzvus, from a point of years, from a point of feeling that I'm worthless? That's a goyish aveir. Das hat nicht mit seiner yid, right? Is it coming from a feeling of invincibility? Is it coming from a feeling of I'm a mamleches kohanim v'goy kodesh? I'm so close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Murdik, right? You want to know how it translates to this week's parsha, so I'm going to tell you over here, exactly. I mean, you got me into it, so I'm going to tell you, listen to what's going on over here, right? Amar de Kazach. Hein hoyu, right? The pasuk says that why were they mezanu with Bnei Samoyov, right? Why? Bidvar Bilam. Because Bilam said something, Bidvar Bilam. So Pashas, what does Bidvar Bilam mean? Bidvar Bilam means with the eighth of Bilam, Bidvar Bilam, right? So listen to words over here from the Heilige Meshech Chochmah. Listen to what he says over here. You know what Bidvar Bilam is? And if he wouldn't say it, I don't think anybody would ever be able to say this on their own, right?
I'm going through my list of Aveiros to think if they're Yiddish or Goyish. I'm not sure.
Sometimes you need, maybe you have to ask somebody, which Aveira does this go into? But listen to Meshech Chochmah over here. The Heilige Ramei Simcha. What he has to say. What does Bidvar Bilam mean? He says, Darkei Torah. What's a Derech HaTorah? Every shnit and trit that we do, we're governed by halachas, by what the Rebbeinu Shalom's ratzon is. And we know the Gemara tells us in Bava Kama, Kol ha'omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu vatron, yivatru ma'oi. It means his intestines are going to come out. What does that mean? That means the Rebbeinu Shalom, there's no such thing as like, okay, so klein halachos, I was over a sif. So what is it? So what sif in Shulchan Aruch? There's a lot of sif in Shulchan Aruch. No, we know, a Yid knows that every sif in Shulchan Aruch is oilamis. You can't be mevater on one halacha and kutza shel yud. Comes along Bilam, and Bilam says a pasuk. And again, the Meshchach would say, this is a pasuk that we say in Malchus on Rosh Hashanah, right? But what does Bilam say? Lo yibit oven b'yankiv, right? Lo yibit oven b'Yaakov, lo yirah omol b'Yisrael, Hashem elikov imoi, usru as melech boy. What is this pasuk telling us over here? Bilam is saying, Klal Yisrael, Rabbi Shalom doesn't look at Yahweh. He's not focused. You think he's focusing on the chatoim that a Yid does? Ein meisav leiv aleim. Ve'eina manisham. And the Raya, kel meitziyah mi-Mitzrayim. Look, the Rabbi Shalom took you out of Mitzrayim, and you are alolo of the Avodah Zarah and alolo of the Avodah Zarah. Usruas melech boy. What does it mean, sruas? Zokta, just like a best friend. Hareya, he's not makbid on his friend for little things. He doesn't become ois friend because he did. So he's doing a small aveira. So he says that attitude that Bilam was trying to subtly give over in what he said about Klal Yisrael, that Kadosh Baruch Hu he's not such a makbid. You don't have to worry. He wants us to live, and he doesn't want us to feel like we're hounded chalila by azharis and by rabbanans and gzeiris and l'chein samdu lebal par. Ki lo yiznach Hashem v'lo yapet bom oven v'hu she'amar hakosav bidhein hayu lebnei Yisrael bidvar Bilam shediber lo yihibit oven b'yankiv. That's what's called. You see what it means over here? Where the Yiddishe Aveiros, they went to be mizan with Moshe. You know where it came from? It came from Bilam telling them, "Du bist doch Yidin." You know what it means to be a Yid. Lo yibit oven b'yankiv. The Rebbeinu Shalom is best for Sruas Melech boy. Kel meitzim Mitzrayim. Look what the Rebbeinu Shalom did for you. You think the Rebbeinu Shalom is going to mind much if you give in to a taivala here and there? Enjoy it. Don't worry. Your relationship is way above the Rabbi Shalom being makbid chalila on episode taiva, that a Yid wants to fulfill. Zok said that's the pshan hoyu with bnei Yisrael bidvar Bilam limsomal b'Hashem. That's called the Yiddishe Aveiros. Yiddishe Aveiros is a Yid gate zingin lehibit oven b'yankiv. He sings it with the ganze Zach and he thinks, "Los, the Rebbeinu Shalom cooked of mine Aveiros. Verkehr, is that no good by Yidden? He only sees the Maila. Is that the Pintel Yid? Is that the Verkehr? Is that the Selim Lekim? I was the Aveiros. No, the Rebbeinu Shalom looks away." Right? That's when a Yid does an Aveira, Chalila Mak was that Gaiva, and that Gavus Halev, feeling that he's a prince and he's invincible and the relationship is unbreakable, and so then he allows himself to do things like a spoiled child, like allows himself to take liberties because the Melech loves me anyway. I know I'm his only son. I'm his only child. What's he going to do? So at the end of the day, that's what we test Hashem with these kind of Aveiros. That was the Aveiros in the Midbar. So nicht gewähnt mitoich shiflus, gewähnt verkehrt mitoich gavus. So this unbelievable yisod over here was stated in Neshech Chokmah, right? It's Firois over here. We are right. It's good, Akiva. So far, you're good, or you're still making a cheshbon of your Aveiros?
No, I'm
Listen,
starting
you
to
wanted to
accept.
finish on time. If I can wait till you finish making the cheshbon, I know how long it's going to take. I mean, Khalil, anyway. Now,
I got to speak to my accountant.
Yeah. I'll call upon him, Rabbi Isaac. We know in the beginning of the parsha, right? So we talk about the Dorim, and we talk about Shavuos, and we talk about what? We talk about the Inyan of Kichol Hayoytzi Mipiv Yasa, right? The mile of keeping our words, of being a doiver emes, not, being so careful about every word that we say, Hayoytzi Mipichem Tasu, right? And we know Kedushas Levi in the beginning of the parsha, the Elige Baditsheva, as Lo Yachal Dvoroi, right? To read you his lashon over here is unbelievable. Mi she'ena oisa diburoi chulin, oisa tikunim b'chol hayoysi mipiv, v'yigzar oimer v'yokum loi, tzadik moishel b'yiras alikim ha'idei shmiras bris haloshin, and that's why it's Parshas Matos. Listen to what he says over here. Matos means to be mata the din, right? To sway the din, to tip over the din. If somebody watches his diburim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, can sway HaKadosh Baruch Hu to let go of Midas Adin and to go to Midas Harachman. So that's the Yisod. L'yachal Dvorah, if somebody is B'kayim L'yachal Dvorah, Kichol HaYoytzim Mipiv Yasa, the Rebbeinu Shalom will acquiesce to anything that's Yoytzim Mipiv. And that's what it's doing in Parshas Matos, because that's the koyach over here of being Mata Din L'Rachmim. Now, there's a Ksav Sofer that, is a nuclear Ksav Sofer. We like to say over these nuclear Ksav Sofers. It could be you heard it from me, but the Ksav Sofer tells us on the Pasuk. When Moshe Rabbeinu goes and he admonishes and he gives Musa to Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain for putting their sign before their children. Right? Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain come along and they said, Gdeiris soy nivna lemikneinu, and Orim we're going to build for our tapenu. And then Moshe Rabbeinu says to them, "What are you not normal? You're making. You have to make the ikr and the tuffle. So first you have to worry about your children." And he says, "Benu lochem orim l'tapchem," and then afterwards you'll have gidrei soin for your mikneh. And then he says, "Vayoyse mipichem tasu," and what you promised, that you're going to go into Eretz Yisrael, you're going to hold Mocham in Eretz Yisrael, and then you're going to come back afterwards, you're going to get Eivar Yardin, that you're going to be Mekayim. So the question is, why is this in one pasuk over here? What is the ratio of the pasuk? Benu lochem orim l'tapchem, v'gidrus soim, tivnu l'tzoynachem, v'yoyse mipichem tasu, and just keep your word. Dr. Heilige Ksav Sofer, Mishu Lord Achar Momen v'chovev Olav Yoyse Migufay. Somebody doesn't got his priorities straight, and his Momen is worth more to him than his Ruchnius, than his children. Ein lahamin bidvorov. His word is meaningless. You can't trust anything that he says. Why? Ki yeser hamomen yitkaf olov ad shelo yikayim dvorov. Ulechein b'nei Gad u'b'nei Ruvain shekdimu behemis l'bneiim shechivavu hamomen kol kach ein liftoyach al devreim. Ulechein amar Moshe Rabbeinu. First of all, get your priorities straight. Understand what's ikr in life and what's tafel in life. And understand that first you got to worry about your children and b'nu aram l'tapchem. And don't have this midah meguna of worrying about your mom so much that you're going to put them in front of your children. if you'll get to that stage where you know what the ikr is and you know what the tafel is, then then I could trust that you're going to keep your word. So there's a scathing rebuke now, so people are sitting there listening to this Ksav Sofer and listening to me say it, and said, there he goes again. He's making fun of Balabatim, railing against Balabatim. What does Rabbi say? Chas v'sholom. First of all, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying over Ksav Sofer. Second of all, we're not. There's whether you're a balabas or a yeshiva man, whether you learn a whole day, whether you don't learn a whole day, has absolutely nothing to do with ikr has to be a ikr and tafel has to be a tafel. There are plenty of balabatim that we know that have their priorities exactly where it's supposed to be, and they know what's chashuv and what's not chashuv, and by the same token, their word is a word, because like the Ksav Sofer says, if you know what's chashuv and what's not chashuv, then your word can be trusted. And vice versa, nebuch, there are plenty of people that doesn't make a difference what they do all day. They could be in koil all day, but if they don't know, if they're thinking the whole time about their mom, and if they're worried about their mom, and if they're chalishing for mom, if they're machshiv is mom, and so their word is not a word either, because l'mais at the end of the day their priorities are skewed, right? So, Avada, this Ksav Sofer was the background, right? Rav Hutner used to say a vort, right? And again, we just we're throwing words around, but you know what? I just gave you Agdama what I mean. Rav Hutner used to say like this. I heard this from the person who had experience with him. So obviously there was a balabas that zogsu something to the yeshiva, and they went to ask him for it, whatever. A week later, and he said, "I never said it." He denied that he ever said it. And whatever, I didn't mean it. I meant this, I meant that, and they were Pashut incredulous, and they like, how could you say? We heard you say that you're going to do this and this, and how could you just deny it? And it just seemed like they couldn't believe it. So they went to the Rosh Yeshiva, and Rav Hutner said to him, he said, "If weiß nicht, as a balabos is größer von Rabbi Akiva, mit Rab Shimon ben Yochai, mit Rab Eliezer, mit Rab Chia, alle zusammen as größer." So the person looking at him, he says, okay, I what's the joke over here? Please let me in on it. I didn't get it. I couldn't laugh because I didn't get it. So Rav Hutner says like this. He says, in the Gemara, Rabbi Akiva is of the member in the Mishnah. Yeah. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. Frag the Gemara v'Reminu, sto astira. Rabbi Akiva zogt about, he says it in somewhere else. He says fakert. Zogt the Gemara, loy kosher, kan. He was talking about this. Kan, he was talking about that. Frag the Gemara, no, but vatanya stira. The Kisser, the Gemara can dot zwei blatt Gemara zu verempfen the stira v'Reminu as Rabbi Akiva gezogt do hins blatt, and then somewhere else he said fakert. So Rav Hutner, balabas. So wollt nicht gewen kan kasha in the first place. We needed a Gemara, so wollt nicht gewen kan kasha. Hat so gesagt that they 5 minutes later sagt verkehrt. It all stems. There's no kasha. It's great from Rabbi Akiva. You don't need 2 blocks with Gemara to answer the kasha. Was hat gemeint? Auf der Ksav Sofer hat gemeint. When he was talking about a balabas, he meant a balabas that his personal interest, right? His mammon, his son, what's important to him in life, that takes precedence and kedima over anything else ruchnius, anything else that he has to do ruchnius wise. So right now, I told you come to me and you say, they say, yeah, fine, I'll give you $10,000. Walk away, Baruch Hashem. But a minute later, the guy's priorities are his priorities. So right away he says, 1 second, I didn't mean this, I meant that. Why? Because at the end of the day, he can't keep his word, because his word is a steer to his priorities, and he has to live his life according to what's important to him. So there's never going to be vayoytze bichem tasu. So Sinish can steer. At the moment that he said it, he was holding by giving it. A minute later, now there's something that's blocking him. I mean, I said I was giving it to you, but I checked my bank account. I see now, maybe next month I'll be able to. What do you mean? You told me you're giving it to me next week. What happened? Nothing happened. The teretz is, one time you say azoi, and the next time it doesn't work out. So you say fakert. Right? In order for a person to halvar, right, the gres the Shalach Kodesh says, the gres the midah with all other midas come after that. He says, bar mitzvah bocha, mizol mechanik zayin bar mitzvah bocha. Chalil, everything you say, you should keep. Emes, you should be loyal. When you say something, people should be able to trust you that you're going to actually do it. If somebody is not trustworthy, he's not trustworthy. That's really what's going on over here with this hayoytze mipichem tasu. And so that's, I think, Rabbi Sai, I hope I explained it very, very clearly in a way, Chalila, that is not at all offensive, because listen, anybody, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who takes time out, and in these times, and tunes in without being able to have the kugel and the l'chaim and the cholent and the feeling that that varmkeit, and Pasha wants to be ungevarmt to the Dvar Hashem, late at night like this, has their priorities straight. And the Meila Oibazoi, they know that the chinuch of their children comes before what worrying about their mom, and they're not going to and the Meila, like the Ksav Sofer says, hayoytze mipichem tasu, they can be mekayim yoytze mipichem. If you want me to finish just on a very, very, very positive note over here, Moshe Rabbeinu was asked to be Kohen Nikmas B'nei Yisrael. I'm going to again say Ksav Sofer because there's so much to love about the way the Ksav Sofer learns up these sugyas over here in these parshas. But he says, why did the Rebbeinu Shalom want Dafka Moshe Rabbeinu? And he told Moshe Rabbeinu, Kohen Nikmas B'nei Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu was Mishani afterwards. He said the Kohen Nikmas Hashem. But what did the Rebbeinu Shalom want to be the Kohen Nikmas B'nei Yisrael? So the Moshe Rabbeinu, when we learned the Mei Meriva, the Rebbeinu Shalom was upset at Moshe Rabbeinu by the Mei Meriva. And one of the reasons why he was upset was because, why did you say Mamrim Hayisim Im Hashem? Why did you say, I didn't say that they were a rebellious nation by asking for water? Why did you get angry at them and show them displeasure when I didn't tell you that I was displeased with them? They look at you, Moshe, and they look at you as a reflection of the way I'm feeling towards them. And if you got angry at them and you were mavaza them and you said Mamrim Hayisim Im Hashem from the time you left Mitzrayim, even though they were wrong, but you should have been nishtatev in their tsar. You should have felt they didn't have water. They were thirsty. They didn't know where the water was coming from. You shouldn't have gotten angry. You shouldn't have been mavaza them. So Memela, the Rebbeinu Shalom said to Moshe, before you die, you need a kapara on that. And here's going to be a kapara. You're going to go and take the Nekama from Midyan. And because Midyan was Mitzar Yisrael, and because through Midyan they were Marshal B'nai Yisrael in the Chet, and there was a Magefa, and an Am Rav died, I want to see how much it bothers you. I want to see, instead of being bothered by Klal Yisrael, I want to see if the Tsar of Klal Yisrael bothers you. So Nekoim Nikmas B'nei Yisrael Me'eis HaMidyanim. And after that, because now I saw that you were in that. So we see Rabbi Sai, when we get upset and we get angry and we tend to say things, the Yidden and the Chassidim in Williamsburg and they Chil Hashem and they do this and they do that, and we say the Rabbi Shalom says, one second over here, they were bizarre, whatever they did, right? So there was a levaya from a person who was a rebbe by them, and they were murdered at Tsar. So maybe they acted, out of context of the way they were supposed to act. Fine, aber be mavaza them, be angry with them, not be mishtatev in their Tsar, not feel to them, feel that we have a license to berate them. That's what Kadosh Baruch Hu says. I don't want you talking about Klal. He was upset at Moshe Rabbeinu. I don't want you talking about Yidden like that. I don't want you feeling about Yidden like that. And Moshe Rabbeinu had to show like a tshuva, midah keneged midah, that fakir. I'm so upset that they were nifshel, that Al Yidei Midyan got them to be nifshel this Aveiros. Because of that, they lost so many Yidden. Oy bazoi, I want to show how angry I am at Midyan to being machshel, Kaira, Klal Yisrael, and what they did over here. So Rabbi say, let's be careful about everything that we say, and let's keep halvart, and let's remember what the Zav Sofer says about what it means for Yaakov. We should make our words chulin, and what it means to know our ikr and tafel, what it means not to chas v'sholom yivaza Klal Yisrael. Let's remember what Shimshon Pincus says in the Haftarah, how together with that the Rebbeinu Shalom threw us out and is angry at us for exchanging his covet for covet of Avodah Zorah, but he's still Zacharti lo Chesed Nurayich Avos Kol Yisayich Kodesh Yisrael Hashem. The Membeis, the Chaf Aleph Yoim with the Membeis Masos, the 21 day and night is 42. The Shem Membei, that every Yid's lifetime, and the Tiferet Shloimeh, the Tshuka of the Chavivus Eretz Yisrael, and begging HaKadosh Baruch Hu that Eretz Yisrael should not be in the hands of Rishoim, of people that are Mavaza, the Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. And with that we'll be Zoichel Kol Abel Yisraelim, Zoicha V'royen Echmosa B'meir V'yameinu Amen.
Amen.
Shkoyach. You're still there. I forgot to first of all announce that today's shir is sponsored by the Samsonovich family, Lilu Nishmas Rabaria Breb Nisol, Nisana Lemberger, whose yard site was Chav Gimel Tammuz.
Kusa Yogan Elaine. Reb Moshe, are you there? I haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing, Reb Moshe?
Reb Moshe, which Reb Moshe are you looking for?
I'm looking for Moshe Samsonovich is his father, Meir, I think his name is.
Oh, the son is Yaakov.
Yaakov
Samson.
Yaakov,
but he's not here. No, he's not here. I'm going to send him the link so he can hear the recording.
Meir, I think is his name Yaakov Meir?
Yaakov Meir, maybe it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the shir, originally I always thought that I wanted the Kedushas Levi to be my Seneger, but after what you said today, that I've Yiddishe Aveiros, and maybe I was under pressure, I can be a great Seneger too.
Okay. Very good. Listen, it's all, the Svarim are full of Senegers for Klal Yisrael. Kedushas Levi is the one who's the most famous, but, they're all, I mean, this book from Shimshon Pincus, it's not shaykh, right? In the same two sentences, Koyam Hashem Zachati Lo Chesed Nurayich Avos Kol Yisayich Kodesh Yisrael Hashem, in the Peronius, in the three Haftarahs of Teichacha and of how the Rebbeinu Shalom feels like he's throwing us out, he doesn't want us anymore. That's always the dichotomy and the chibur of Klal Yisrael to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
But
Rabbi, have a good summer.
He's saying it for our sake, that we shouldn't be giving up. It's so easy to be Messiahish. It's here. It's 3 weeks. Sheikh's not going to come. Mikdash is Charev. But we're to remember it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's love doesn't change.
Right. We have to we have to feel it. We have to feel it.
Right.
Feel it. The Chassidic Israel are all right that these are weeks that we can steig more in our Kesher HaKadosh, in an interesting way. When we're being misabel on Yerushalayim, we can feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu's love in these weeks more in a certain way than we can a whole year. And they work very, very hard on feeling that kesher that the Rebbeinu Shalom has to us in the Golus during these weeks, and that's machazik us, unbelievable, right? Yeah. When we feel that love, machazik us. Okay, Shai, everybody's good.
Baruch Hashem, Rabbi. Good.
Okay,
Baruch Hashem.
all right.
Heard Rabbi Kiva says it has to be Chassidic, so Yitaka spoke out Rav Hutner a lot.